Hey, hello everybody, welcome to the Sound Test Room. Today we are taking a look at the new SynthDrum Kick from Designed by Paul. So first of all, it's an AUv3 drum synthesizer, not a drum machine. So you can't program drum sequences. It's for creating synthesized drum sounds. Now this is going to be so loved by so many people who wanted a drum synth for programming those deep like EDM kicks and stuff, but this does so much more than that. Although it's called SynthDrum Kick, it does snares, effects, because you have pitch modulation, which is absolutely essential for a drum synth. Anyway, yes, how I've got this set up. Okay, so first of all, I'm using apeMatrix, but I might nip over into AUM as well and also show you how to set it up in that as well. It's that easy. You can resize this in apeMatrix like this by dragging on the thing, and you see that brilliantly it just resizes to however you want it set. I've got 3 of these. Okay, so here's another there, and you can now with apeMatrix have them all on the screen, and here's the other one. All right, and each one of these is doing a different sound. So we have a bass, a kick, and a snare. So just let me close those out. And those are being controlled by, so the kick is being controlled by this Rozeta from Brand Boss's amazing Rozeta MIDI suite, sequencer suite, basically. So this is kind of your basic, you can see it's a 4 on the floor kick. I've selected kick. Because I'm using XOX to drive each individual one, I wouldn't necessarily need to change from bass drum to hi-hat for each one. Like for instance, this next one here is on bass drum, and that's on bass drum as well. Why did it? Why? Oh yes, hi-hat. But I've done it like this to keep it more logical for me. So the first kick drum is using Rozeta's bass drum. The second one here, if I go to snare, you'll see I put some snare hits in here. Just for my own, but I wouldn't need to do that because all the XOX is doing, as long as I'm putting the steps in the right place, it will play whatever sound is coming into it, sort of thing. Routing's pretty easy. So here's my matrix, my MIDI patch bay. So my first Rozeta here is going to my first synth drum, and then the second there, and the second there. Excuse me. Now you'll see a gap here. That's because we're taking advantage of the new update for apeMatrix as well, which is the oscillator here. So we'll set that like that. And whatever I route the oscillator through, not the oscillator, oscilloscope, sorry, oscilloscope. So we can see our waveforms and stuff, which is dead handy. Not necessarily for this, but for synth programming and stuff like that. Anyway, but it's a new feature in apeMatrix. And all I would need to do is if I wanted to route my oscillator to this first one here, I can add more of them because the oscillator is the oscilloscope is also a AUv3. But we'll get into just if I want to see the wave, the oscilloscope wave for this first synth, I just need to route it to the oscilloscope like this. See, dead easy. Anyway, how does it sound? Well, I've put this little pattern together. So here we go. Nice and deep, eh? And I think, yep, this is our kick drum here. Let's make it bigger. And let's route our kick drum to the oscilloscope now. And there we go. And we've got the X and the Y, and also a spectral as well. But obviously, you won't see the wave. Anyway, that's that. So we can now start to make adjustments to our sound. Now, I programmed in a few of my own. Very nice. Imagine layering a couple of these up. So let's have a look at another. I think I'm on the right one. We can tune it here. Nice. And again, it also comes with some presets for different drums. You have AM and FM for the pitch mod as well. A variable sine wave, because that's all you need for the drum synth. Awesome. Now, it's also playable via MIDI, your MIDI keyboard. So if you wanted to do it that way, you can. Also, another very, very cool thing, of course, is if you're using this in apeMatrix, is that you can modulate everything. First of all, to get it with the MIDI keyboard. So say, for instance, I wanted to, let's go to our MIDI patch bay. Here's the little MIDI DIN interface here is your connection to whichever one you want to play. So if it was the bass drum, we just hit this. I can play it with my MIDI keyboard, or the snare, which we've just been messing with, or the hi-hat, which we haven't messed with, or all three, of course. Okay, so we can stop doing that now. Now let's do something cool here. Let's have a look at this. I think this is a hi-hat, and we play it again. Okay, so let's do this. Let's modulate that decay. So all we need to do is to hit our, let's just shut that up. Hit this here, these little three dots here. What was it? The amp decay. Yeah, amp decay. Right, so you can find that here's all the controls that you can modulate. It's everything on here, so we can modulate the whole thing if you want to. apeMatrix makes this so ridiculously easy. So, for instance, let's modulate our, what did I say? Our amp decay like this. Let's go to the modulation section here. Actually, the easiest way to do this is to play it. Do it again. Oh, I'm modulating the amp release. Ah, right, okay. Sorry, doesn't matter, but noise decay, not amp. Noise mix. Don't look like I can modulate the noise decay. That's a shame. What about the pitch speed? This should be fun. nice if I could modulate that. Awesome. So that's how you can modulate stuff within apeMatrix, and also how you'd want to set it up. So Rozeta, SynthDrum Rozeta, and then you can assign. I mean, you can see the assignments here for the MIDI. Okay, so you've got your first synth drum, your second synth drum, your third, your first Rozeta, your second, your third, gap in the middle because I put the oscillator, you know what, the oscilloscope there. Anyway, let us do this now. That's fine, I've saved that session earlier. Let us have a quick look in AUM, just quickly show you how easy it is to set this up in AUM. Super simple. It's easier to see in AUM, the routing system, so I'll do it like that. Okay, so first of all, I'll just set up 2. Of course, you can go on and on, but for the purposes of a demo, you only need to see it once, and then you can repeat to suit. First of all, it's an audio unit extension, so we just go down to SynthDrum here. And in our second one here, audio unit extension, we want to use, well, I want to use Rozeta XOX because it resembles a drum machine. You can use anything you like because it's also because you can play SynthDrum on a keyboard. You could get something like Troublemaker or Collider or Particles or playing it, not Troublemaker, that's a synth, but Particles or Collider playing or something like that, you know, so you got pitch control all over the place, right? So first of all, what we need to do, most importantly, is route this to this, the Rozeta XOX. If I wanted to route it to my Oxygen now, I could. If I take it away, it's gone. We could do it like that. However, let's just leave it going to the Rozeta MIDI. Let's open it up. And again, we can resize and rescale in AUM. Let's choose, I don't know, well, we can leave it at that actually. What we'll do as well, I'll change it in a minute. What we'll also do is open up Rozeta. Now, it will default to bass drum, but if you haven't several of these going, I would suggest you choose the correct setting because it just makes more sense in your head if you want to change things. Right, okay, so we'll just put, again, we'll just put a basic 4 on the floor in there. We hit play, and that's it. Now we've got SynthDrum Kick being controlled by Rozeta XOX. We can now change the sounds if you want. Don't forget these are all synthesized as well, so it's different presets you could play with. And then you could make really make some nice sounds and then save them as your own. So what we'll quickly do, just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about, is create another 2. First off, audio unit extension. just go and find our new SynthDrum Kick again. And again, for this one, we'll put another audio unit extension. And we shall use Rozeta XOX again. Open this, route it to XOX4, channel 4. Okay. And then I will go in here and, for the purposes of this, select a hi-hat sound to start. There you go, hi-hats. Close that a sec. Open Rozeta and choose hi-hat. So it keeps us, closed hat. So it keeps it logical, that's all I'm saying. And we can mutate this so it changes. So let's fill them all up at a mutation. Excellent. And then we can make adjustments to our sound with this. Now, of course, you can now start to, if you want to, apply effects all over the place, you know, inside the effects chain and stuff. So you're going to get some serious drums going on. Anyway, guys, listen, I shall put links in the description for SynthDrum Kick. As you can see, it's very powerful. You have a lot of control. It's that easy to save. If you've made adjustments, you just save it as a new sound sort of thing, and it ends up in there. You can resize it, as you did see also in apeMatrix. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Consider becoming a Patreon, please. That's very important to me. And also subscribe to the channel. That costs you out. All right. Listen, thank you for watching. SynthDrum Kick from Designed by Paul. Awesome, I think. Awesome. It's getting very favourable reviews on the Audiobus forum as well, which is always a good sign. Okie dokie, I shall see you later.